Hi, young adults. Today we are going to be going over correlational research. So please flip to a new page in your notebooks, and you are going to need to take notes on the things that I am going to go over in your notebook. So if you need to pause the video to get yourself situated, I have some different colors that I'm going to use to help me along. So if you've got some different colors, you can get those things out, pause the video, get your notebooks out, and you are going to be taking some notes. Okay, the first thing we're going to start with is just the definition of correlational research, right? Correlational research is research that measures the direction and strength of a relationship, right? So there's really two parts to that definition, right? The direction and the strength. So I'm going to highlight direction and the strength of a relationship. And I'll explain how you talk about what the direction is and what the strength is, right? And we're talking about the direction and strength of a relationship if there is any, right? There might not actually be a relationship between two variables, right? So the direction and strength between variables in order to determine how well one variable predicts the other. Right? So we're looking at this idea of what is the relationship, if one exists, between two different variables. And if you know what the relationship is, then you could predict one variable from a known variable, right? So that's kind of what we're talking about here. So an example of correlation, it's kind of broken down into two parts. So there are positive correlations and there are negative correlations. So I'm leaving some space in between both of these pieces, right? So we got positive and we've got negative. Oh, you can't see me. I wrote negative down below. So I'm just going to underline those. So let's talk about positive correlations first. When we're talking about positive correlation, it's when two variables move in the same direction, right? So what that means is, in this example, when one variable goes up, so when one variable increases, so let's say your height. As your height increases, the other variable, let's say shoe size, that means your shoe size also goes up. Right? So if variable 1 is height and variable 2 is shoe size, if we found a positive correlation by gathering data, it would indicate that positive correlation would indicate that as someone gets taller, right, as height goes up, then their shoe size would also increase. Okay? At the same time, another way of writing it is as one decreases, the other variable also decreases. They're moving in the same direction with each other. So as your height decreases, your shoe size is also going to decrease, right? So they move, the variables are moving in the same direction, okay? And if you know, let's say I tell you that like height and shoe size are our two variables, and I tell you that they're positively correlated, if I tell you someone's height, you could reasonably predict their shoe size. Right? So the whole goal of correlational research is to be able to predict one variable based on the other. Okay? So the way you figure out positive or negative correlations or no correlations is you use what's called a scatter plot. So I'm just going to kind of draw one over here. Okay? I'm going to label it, I'm going to call it a scatter plot. That was one of your italicized terms, scatter plot. And the way you would create a scatter plot is you'd have to collect legitimate data. So if we were in class right now, I would stick with my two variables. So let's say my vertical axis is going to be the variable of height. And let's say my horizontal axis is going to be shoe size. Okay. And so I would literally go around the room and I'd ask you, like, what is your height and what is your shoe size? So let's say, you know, shoe size would start at like a 5, size 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Maybe some people have larger feet than that. And height, let's say, you know, 5 feet. We got 5, 2, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 8. Let's go up to like, you know, 6, 2. Okay. And so I literally would go around the room, like if we're going to create a scatter plot, is I would ask you your shoe size. So let's say, you know, Tommy is a size 9, and I'd ask Tommy how tall he is. He'd say, you know, 5'10", and you would mark, right, size 9, 5'10". And I'd come to Sally, and Sally would say that she's, you know, a size 7, and she's 5'2". And then, you know, Sarah says that she's a size 8, and she's 5'8". And then, you know, Avery says that she's a size 6 and she's 5'2". And then, you know, we get to Aiden, and Aiden says that he's a size 11 and he's 5'10". Right? And we would keep plotting these points over and over again until we, you know, finished going over everyone's, you know, shoe size. And I'll just make a couple more. And if you look, like the general slope, right? So what creates the correlation coefficient, which we're going to break down in a second, is the slope. And if you can see, like based on the direction, the dots are kind of going like this, right? And so what that is indicating to you, as you go up in shoe size, right? So as shoe size increases, the height also is increasing, right? So in this case, that is a positive correlation. So this graph, like you find out the correlations by graphing data points on what we call a scatter plot. Okay. Okay. Let's move over to this idea of a negative correlation. So I'm just going to scooch the paper down a little bit. So when we talk about a negative correlation, it's when two variables move in opposite directions, which your book calls this, directions. Your book calls that an inverse relationship, right? So they're opposites of each other. So when we talk about this, right, the example would be like when the first variable increases, then the second variable is going to decrease. Or when the first variable decreases, then the second variable is going to increase. Okay? And let's say, you know, let's talk about in our example, because before with positive, we used height and shoe size. In this example, let's use like, you know, cups of soup, right? That you would like purchase, like a, you know, a bowl of soup. And let's say like the temperature outside. Let's use those as our variables, the temperature outside. And so most of us, if you were to think about this logically, you would argue that like you will sell more cups of soup, so more soup is sold, the lower the temperature it is, right? Like I don't know how many people are interested in eating like, you know, tomato soup when it's 105 degrees outside in the summer, right? So as, you know, the sale of soup is going to go down when the temperature goes up outside, okay? And, you know, if you were to graph this, I'll just, over here on the other side, I'll graph it. So let's do, you know, cups of soup on the vertical axis, and then like the temperature outside on the horizontal axis. So let's say, you know, 15 degrees, 25 degrees, 35 degrees, 45, and, you know, this could all go all the way up to like, you know, 100 degrees outside. Cups of soup, you could say, you know, 1, 2, 4, 6, let's say like 10, right? And, you know, if we were like really going to plot this out, actually like have to investigate how much soup was eaten when, but you could say like, you know, how many cups of soup are you going to drink when it's 100 degrees? Well, most of us are like, well, 0, Miss Pretet, right? Or like when it's 45 degrees, how many people are willing to have like 6 cups of, 6 cups of soup? Or when it's, 15 degrees out, you might have like 10 cups of soup. Generally speaking, a negative correlation is going to have a downward slope. So the dots are going to make like a downward slide. Okay. And the idea is, right, as the temperature increases, the amount of cups of soup are going to decrease. Right. So as the temperature increases, people are going to consume less soup. And that would be a negative correlation. Okay. And the last one to talk about, right, we said there's positive, there was negative. The last one is this idea of a weak correlation. A weak correlation. So when we talk about a weak correlation, that is when the variables, right, so 2 variables show no relationship to each other. Right? So if they're going to show no relationship to each other, right? An example, just like we were doing before, could be, let's say like shoe size is variable 1, and let's say your level of intelligence is the other. Right? So if we were going to do this again, you'd make a scatter plot, right? And let's say your vertical axis would be, your intelligence based on like an intelligence test, like what's your score on the intelligence test. And this would be your shoe size. And what would end up happening, as most of you would probably understand, is that your intelligence is actually not related to your shoe size whatsoever. So if we were actually doing this, what would end up happening is you would get a scatter plot that looks kind of like this, where it's literally all over the place, right? And when you have a scatter plot that looks like this, that means that there is a weak or no correlation between those 2 variables, right? There is no relationship between shoe size and intelligence. Okay? We're going to pause right here, and I'm going to make a part 2 video talking about correlation coefficients. So I told you I was going to pause, but I have 3 minutes before my video runs out. I'm going to try and finish down this video. I'm just going to flip this over. So wherever you're at your notebook, if you need to flip over, go ahead and flip over. What we're going to talk about very briefly is this idea of I gotta get the camera right. There we go. A correlation coefficient. Now, most of you, when you hear the word coefficient, you should think back to like math class, right? The coefficient's like the number before the variable. So like 3x, the coefficient is 3. So when we talk about correlation coefficient, it's a statistical measure showing you the relationship between 2 variables. I will never ask you to actually calculate the correlation coefficient. That is beyond us. But you should know that the correlation coefficient is always going to be between -1 and 1. Okay, and 0 would be in the middle. And it's meant to indicate the direction and strength of a relationship. If it is a +1, right? So I'll just put +1. Like it's a 1.0 relationship. That is an extremely strong positive relationship. It doesn't get stronger than that. So if I told you the relationship between, shoe size and height was 1.0, you could very clearly predict someone's height based on their shoe size. It's as strong as you can get. So this is a strong positive correlation. And then if you talk about, a -1, 1.0, right? -1.0, that is an extremely strong negative correlation, right? Meaning like when one variable goes up, the other one goes down, or when one goes down, the other one goes up, right? And that means very clearly, if you knew it was a negative correlation, you could predict what would happen. And then, so once again, this is a strong negative correlation. And then anything close to 0 or closest to 0 is going to be very weak, meaning that there is little to no relationship between those 2 variables. Okay, so all correlation coefficients are between -1 and 1. So if it's closer to 0, it's going to be very weak.